Welcome to a new deep dive. So I want you to imagine, just for a second, making this massive, reality-altering discovery about your own family.
Oh, those are always the best kind of stories.
Right, like imagine finding out that the parent you've known your entire life, the quiet, pragmatic person who made your breakfasts and stressed over the electric bill, is actually a secret prodigy.
Wow. Not just like good at a random hobby,
Yeah.
but an actual genius.
Exactly. A documented, bona fide genius in the exact same field you are just starting to explore yourself.
I mean, that would completely shatter your understanding of who raised you. The person you thought was just, your foundation suddenly has this massive hidden architecture to their own life. You realize you only knew a fraction of their story.
Yeah, it's a wild thought experiment, and the author of the chapter we're looking at today, this fascinating story titled Dreams Deferred, paints an incredible picture of exactly that scenario.
It's such a profound source text.
It really is. Our mission today is to explore this real-world collision of artistic precision, the heavy, invisible burdens of adulthood, and this concept of a high or a genetic lineage.
Yeah, that genetic lineage aspect is just mind-blowing.
Totally. And what really hooked me reading this chapter is how vividly it starts. The author sets this incredibly cinematic scene at the Sharma family restaurant in Chandni Chowk.
Oh, the atmosphere is so thick right from the jump.
Right. It's 10 p.m. The rain is drumming on the tin roof the last customer left an hour ago, and the owner, Rajesh Sharma, is sitting at table 4 absolutely frozen.
And he's frozen because of a phone call.
Yeah.
His son, Anant, who is a first-year computer science student at the highly prestigious IIT Delhi, just called with what sounds like a very mundane college update.
Just a normal chat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Anant says he joined Ankahi, which is the campus dramatics society.
Which to any normal parent is just a kid exploring extracurriculars. I mean, big deal, right?
Yeah, but not for Rajesh.
No, not at all. Mira, Rajesh's wife, comes out of the kitchen, sees her husband looking pale and stricken, and she's understandably confused. She assumes he's worried about Anant's grades slipping or something.
Right, the classic parental worry.
But then the book describes Rajesh walking back to his cramped restaurant office, rummaging around in the dark and bringing out this battered, dust-coated cardboard box.
A box that contains a past he has successfully buried for 26 years.
26 years. So he opens it on the restaurant table. Inside are yellowed newspaper clippings, old theatrical programs, and a physical gold medal.
Yeah, a 1990 National School of Drama Best Actor gold medal.
It's crazy.
It was awarded to Rajesh for his lead role in Girish Karnad's play, Tughlaq. And the chapter actually notes that critics back then were calling Rajesh a theatrical phenomenon.
Like a once-in-a-generation talent.
Exactly. Someone poised to just take over the industry.
Which naturally forces us to ask the immediate, glaring question. Why is a generational acting talent running a family restaurant in Chandni Chowk? It's heartbreaking, really. The mechanism behind that pivot is just a brutal reality of familial duty.
Yeah, life just got in the way.
Big time. 26 years ago, during the exact same week Rajesh was sitting for his final exams at the National School of Drama, his father suffered a massive, fatal heart attack.
Oh, that's awful. He passed away before the ambulance even arrived, right?
Yes. And Rajesh was the only son. The restaurant was a 4-generation-old establishment and literally the sole financial lifeline for his devastated mother and his younger sister, who was still in school.
So Rajesh makes the ultimate adult compromise.
He does. He doesn't complain. He doesn't negotiate. He just cleanly amputates his theatrical ambitions, moves back home, and puts on the apron.
Wow. And the reason this scene at Table 4 is so critical is the vow Rajesh makes in that moment.
Right, when he looks at Mira.
Yes. He looks at his wife and makes a fierce, unbreakable promise that he will never, ever tell Anant about his past.
It's such an intense decision.
It really is. It's basically a superhero origin story played in reverse.
Oh, I like that analogy. Right. You find out your mild-mannered dad is secretly a retired superhero. But instead of pulling out his old cape to train you when your own powers manifest, he deliberately locks the cape back in the vault, so you have to learn to fly completely on your own.
We really need to look at the psychological mechanics of what Rajesh is resisting here. Because human nature, especially parental nature, dictates that when we see someone we love pursuing a passion we had to abandon, we want to jump in.
Oh, absolutely. We want to coach them.
Exactly. We want to correct their posture, give them shortcuts, and, on a subconscious level, live vicariously through them.
Because it feels like a second chance at your own life.
Precisely. But Rajesh recognizes this psychological trap of the dutiful son.
What do you mean by that?
Well, If Anant learns that his father sacrificed a genius-level talent to keep the family fed, the narrative of Anant's life instantly warps. Anant might feel this crushing, unbearable pressure to succeed in acting just to redeem his father's lost sacrifice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be heavy.
Or, on a flip side, he might look at his father's life, see that duty superseded art, and feel obligated to quit acting entirely to focus on his safe engineering degree.
So Rajesh's silence is really a calculated act of profound protection.
It is. He wants Anant's passion to be a true calling, completely unweighted by the ghost of his father's deferred dream.
That level of restraint is just staggering. But, reading further into the chapter, I noticed it creates a massive logistical problem for Rajesh.
Oh, for sure.
Because he wants to protect the secret, but he also clearly recognizes this spark in his son. So Rajesh creates this Friday night ritual.
Ah, yes, the closing shift.
Right. Every week when Anant comes home to help close the restaurant, Rajesh casually probes him about his drama rehearsals while they wipe down tables.
He is gently mining his son for details under the guise of just, parental small talk.
And the details Anant is sharing are highly technical. He is talking about diaphragmatic breathing, head voice versus chest voice, and emotional resonance.
Let's actually unpack what Anant is learning there, because these aren't just acting buzzwords, right? They are biological tools.
Okay, break that down for us.
Well, diaphragmatic breathing isn't just taking a deep breath. It is a technique to physically alter your nervous system.
Right, dropping your center of gravity.
Yes, dropping your center of gravity so your voice carries weight and authority without straining your vocal cords. And emotional resonance is the ability to map a fictional feeling onto your actual nervous system.
So the body reacts with genuine physiological truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sweating, shaking, crying all on command.
Okay, hold on. I have to stop you there. Because this is exactly where Rajesh's plan seems incredibly flawed to me.
How so?
Isn't he playing with fire? I mean, by having these deep, nuanced conversations about the biological tools of accessing internal truth on stage, doesn't he risk exposing his own pedigree?
That is a very fair point.
Right. If your dad has spent the last 2 decades running a restaurant, you don't expect him to grasp the finer points of nervous system manipulation in theater. How does Rajesh mask his that he actually knows exactly what Anant is talking about?
He masks it through a masterful deflection.
Oh.
Yeah, whenever Anant asks how he understands these concepts so intuitively, Rajesh just shrugs. He attributes it to a lifetime of watching street theater in the alleys of Chandni Chowk.
Oh, that is clever.
He plays the role of the enthusiastic, observant amateur perfectly. Rajesh takes all of his dormant artistic precision, the exact same analytical mind that won him that gold medal, and channels it into becoming the ultimate, perfectly calibrated audience for his son.
Wow.
He knows the exact questions to ask to push Anant's thinking further without ever giving the answer away.
And he finally gets to be that audience in person in November.
Ah, the debut.
Yes. Anant's debut is a minor 10-minute role as a student dealing with academic pressure at Dogar Hall. And Rajesh actually insists on closing the restaurant early on a Friday, which is a massive financial hit for them just to be there.
He sits in the 4th row, completely dialed into the performance.
And the author notes that Rajesh just weeps unabashedly in the dark.
Because Anant isn't just reciting lines, is he?
Not at all. He steps out and commands the space with sheer, undeniable presence. Even Aisha, Anant's drama teacher, corners Rajesh in the lobby afterward.
What does she say?
She specifically notes Anant's natural magnetism. She says he absorbs and processes complex emotional states faster than anyone she has seen in 8 years of directing.
This introduces us to the core mechanism of Anant's talent, which the chapter describes as a high-aura genetic lineage.
That's such a fascinating concept.
It really is.
Yeah.
It suggests that elite-level talent or profound artistic sensitivity isn't just learned. It's a latent circuitry inherited through the bloodline.
Like it's programmed in.
Yeah, it can sit dormant in the dark for decades, waiting for the right environmental trigger to power it on. And to understand how Anant's specific circuitry works, we have to look at the humble paradox he embodies on campus.
Oh, the duality of this kid's life is wild.
It makes no sense on paper.
None. On one hand, he is this hyper-athletic star cricketer. He smashes 5 centuries in the Inter-IIT Cricket Championship, leading his team to victory.
But then, when the team throws a massive, chaotic victory party,
Anant skips it. He skips the party to sit in his dorm room and read philosophy.
and on top of that, he is the top-ranked student in his computer science batch. His brain is operating on multiple extreme frequencies simultaneously.
His friends even point out his cognitive duality. He has this photographic memory for highly complex computer code, right? But he pairs it with an eidetic elephant memory for human emotional details.
Yes, the book gives that great example.
Right, where he remembers a stranger's grandson was studying for a specific board exam based on, like, a fleeting 5-minute conversation months prior.
Exactly. And when you fuse those two types of memory, the cold structural logic of code and the deep, messy intuition of human empathy, you get a devastatingly effective artistic instrument.
Because usually people lean one way or the other, right?
Right. Most actors lean heavily into emotional intuition, which can sometimes lack structure and consistency. And most engineers lean entirely into logic, missing the nuance of human irrationality.
But Anant possesses both in massive, equal quantities.
He really does.
It's like his brain is a high-end supercomputer running an incredibly advanced empathy algorithm.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
He compiles emotional data, historical context, and human trauma the exact same way he compiles Python code. Everything is integrated into a system.
Let's look at how that actually translates to physical acting. Take his preparation for the role of Krogstad in Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House.
Okay, yeah.
It is technically a supporting role, only 3 scenes. A typical student actor would memorize the lines, figure out where to stand, and try to act angry or desperate.
Sure, just play the emotion on the surface.
Right, but Anant writes an unprompted, 20-page, hidden backstory ledger for Krogstad.
20 pages.
He maps out the character's childhood, his first heartbreak, his financial ruin, and his moral compromises.
He writes a whole novel for a guy who is barely on stage.
Because that ledger is the code. By using logic to construct the complete emotional architecture of the character's life, Anant changes his own physiological responses.
So it's not fake anymore.
Exactly. When he steps on stage, he doesn't have to pretend to be desperate. His nervous system genuinely understands the root of the character's injury. The anger happens biologically. He just exists as the character.
That absolute presence is why the campus paper reviews end up comparing this college kid to a young Nazaruddin Shah.
Which is huge.
Massive. For context, in Indian theater and cinema, that is the holy grail of compliments. Nazaruddin Shah is an absolute titan of the craft.
And Anant barely registers the praise, does he?
Nope. He's just focused on whether he told the character's truth honestly. But this fusion of code-like precision and deep emotional resonance pushes him to a massive professional threshold in his 3rd year.
The stakes escalate dramatically here.
They really do. The college society, Ankahi, collaborates with a professional Delhi theater company. They bring in a 30-year veteran director, Mahesh Saini, to tackle Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot.
Oh man, Waiting for Godot is notoriously brutal.
It's this dense, absurdist marathon where 2 characters basically wait around a barren wasteland for a guy who never shows up. It is incredibly philosophically heavy.
And Mahesh casts a 20-year-old Anant in the massive, demanding role of Vladimir, playing opposite hardened professionals.
Which is a huge leap of faith.
Mahesh makes that call because during the audition, he is just awed by Anant's natural magnetism. Mahesh actually asks Anant if he's real, noting that in 3 decades he has seen maybe 5 actors with that level of authentic, grounded presence.
But the rehearsal process is where Anant's analytical mind truly breaks the mold. I was blown away by this part of the chapter.
Oh, the memorization piece.
Yes. Anant uses his photographic memory to lock down his own lines within a week, but he doesn't stop there. He memorizes the entire play.
Wait, like the whole script?
The whole thing. He internalizes every single actor's dialogue, every stage direction, the exact timing of every pause, and every lighting cue.
That's insane.
If a professional actor drops a line, Anant gently prompts them without ever breaking his own character. He basically becomes the human operating system for the entire production.
It is a staggering feat of cognitive processing.
It is, but I do have a question about the utility of that. Why memorize everyone else's lines?
Do you think it's too much?
Well, yeah. Playing Vladimir is already a grueling mental marathon. Isn't memorizing the rest of the script massive overkill that would just clutter his brain? What is the actual tactical advantage?
It comes back to the unique challenges Samuel Beckett's work. Godot is a play about an existential void. There is no traditional plot to pull you forward.
Right, nothing really happens.
Exactly. So if an actor doesn't anchor themselves, they just float away into the absurdity.
Right.
For Anant, simply waiting for his cue isn't enough. He needs to map the boundaries of the entire universe of the play.
Oh, I see.
By holding the complete system in his mind, he isn't anticipating a line. He is experiencing the flow of the reality they've built. When he knows the absolute boundaries of the system, his brain can stop worrying about what comes next.
Because the code is already running in the background?
Yes, that absolute certainty is what gives him the freedom to find truly authentic, spontaneous reactions in the present moment. He becomes the invisible gravitational center for the entire cast.
He masters the code of the play so completely that he can stop thinking about the code and just live inside the program.
Which is the definition of artistic precision.
And when you achieve that level of absolute presence on a stage, you inevitably attract the attention of people who trade in starlight. Which brings us to the climax of this incredible story, the Kamani Intercept.
Opening night at Kamani Auditorium. It is a Friday night in March, and the audience is packed with theater veterans, critics, and academics.
Anant steps on stage as Vladimir, and for 2.5 hours, he holds the entire room spellbound. The chemistry with his professional co-star is flawless.
It must have been electric to watch.
The play ends, the lights come up, and the auditorium erupts into a monumental standing ovation. And Rajesh is sitting in the third row, watching his son execute acting techniques that he himself used decades ago, but infused with Anant's modern intellectual rigor.
It is the ultimate full-circle manifestation of that high-aura genetic lineage.
It really is. But Rajesh isn't the only person watching closely. Sitting 3 rows behind the Sharma family is Ronnie Screwvala.
Oh, wow. Ronnie Screwvala, a genuine media legend and a titan of the Indian entertainment industry.
Yeah, the director had tipped Ronnie off, telling him he needed to see this kid. And Ronnie is a man who moves fast.
He doesn't waste time.
No. The moment Anant makes it to the lobby, still sweating and surrounded by his family, Ronnie intercepts them. He introduces himself and hands Anant the Holy Grail, an invitation to audition for the lead role in a mid-budget feature film.
A lead role right out of college.
And the role is literally about a small-town boy who discovers his voice through theater. It is tailor-made for Anant.
But Anant's immediate reaction is incredibly telling here.
Yeah, he isn't exactly popping champagne, is he?
Not at all. He is paralyzed with terror.
He starts nervously citing his engineering degree, his lack of formal film training, his fear of failure.
Ronnie politely gives him a card and says they can work around his academic schedule, but the pressure in that lobby becomes intensely real.
So they drive back to Chandni Chowk in total silence. It's past midnight. They sit around the exact same dining table where Anant spent years studying for his engineering exams, and Anant is crumbling under the weight of the choice.
Because engineering is a guaranteed safe life. Acting is a high-wire act without a net.
This places Rajesh in the most agonizing crucible a parent can face.
He is watching his son stand at the exact same crossroads he stood at 26 years ago.
Okay, I have to interrupt here because reading this part of the chapter was just agonizing for me.
It's so tense.
Ronnie Screwvala is offering Anant the world. Anant is terrified, grasping for an anchor. If ever there was a perfect moment for Rajesh to finally say, "Look at me, I was an actor. I won the gold medal at NSD. I know this path, I know this fear, and I know the bitter regret of walking away."
It seems like the perfect time, right?
It is right now. Why does Rajesh maintain the silence at the absolute climax of his son's life?
Because Rajesh understands that true mentorship sometimes requires the mentor to completely erase their own ego.
How do you mean?
If Rajesh breaks the silence and confesses his past, Anant's choice is immediately contaminated.
Contaminated by what?
By legacy. If Anant takes the movie role after learning about the gold medal, he is no longer just chasing his own passion. He is carrying the heavy ghost of Rajesh's lost career onto every movie set. He would be doing it for his father.
Oh, I see. He would become the dutiful son all over again, just in a different direction.
Exactly that. By swallowing the secret one final time, Rajesh guarantees that whatever Anant chooses, the autonomy is completely pure.
That's incredibly selfless.
Rajesh fiercely demands that Anant conquer his fear, telling him that in cooking and in life, sometimes you have to trust your instincts and add the unexpected ingredient. He refuses to let Anant walk away simply because he is afraid to fail.
It is the ultimate invisible act of parental love. Rajesh absorbs the permanent pain of his own unacknowledged genius so his son can step into the light entirely unburdened.
And it works.
It does. Anant agrees to the audition. Rajesh gets to watch his 26-year deferred dream finally transform into reality on his son's terms.
You know, the absolute presence Anant commands on the stage is perfectly mirrored by the absolute presence Rajesh commands at that dining table.
That's a great observation.
Knowing exactly when to push and exactly what to withhold.
Looking at this entire journey, the mechanics of this story reveal something incredibly powerful about human potential.
It really proves that true passion and high-aura genetic lineage, that acute sensitivity and presence, don't just evaporate when they are buried by circumstance.
They don't die.
No, they act like latent circuitry, waiting patiently in the dark for the right environment, the right generation, to finally be powered on.
It also challenges how we view our own internal contradictions, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. We all have traits that seem paradoxical. You might be a highly logical software engineer who deeply feels poetry, or a fiercely competitive athlete who craves quiet isolation.
And like Anant's fusion of analytical tech logic and deep emotional empathy, those paradoxes aren't flaws.
Not at all. When you integrate them, they become your most devastatingly unique strengths. They're the tools you use to build your own operating system for how you navigate reality.
We started this deep dive by asking you to imagine finding out your parent was secretly a prodigy, and we watched Rajesh lock his superhero cape away so his son could fly free.
It's a story that really stays with you.
It does, and I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over today as you go about your routine. Think about the specific talents, the strange passions, or the deep, unexplainable inclinations you have right now, the things that make you feel the most alive.
The things you can't ignore.
Right. How many of them are truly entirely your own? And how many might be the quiet, patient echoes of a massive dream someone in your family had to leave behind in the dark long before you were even born?